What's going on, everybody? This is your man, Dr. John C. Turner, aka the Professor JT, and we are here for the season 3 finale of the Doc Chat. And I am so blessed and honored. We're going to do 2 hours of power. I got some amazing doctors coming on, and I'm telling you, we got some heavy hitters starting off right now. Dr. Nicole Vick, Dr. Roy Richards. Now, let y'all know something. They just got hooded, y'all,
Yeah.
with those doctorate degrees. And I'm telling you, they are ready to talk all about it. Hey, if you're checking us out, make sure you let us know y'all checking us out. I'm telling you, we're going to be here tonight because we got to get the real deal on how they got their doctorate degrees, and they're going to tell y'all how y'all can get y'all doctorate degrees. So without further ado, I'm going to let them introduce themselves. Dr. Nicole Vick, she is coming through. Let us know where you got your doctorate degree, what you got it in, and tell us a little bit about your final project you did. Welcome to the Doc Chat Show.
Hey everybody, Nicole Vick. I am here in South Los Angeles. Love it. Been here for my whole life, and I graduated from the University of Southern California. Of course, I live in Southern California. I have all three of my degrees from USC. I know that's crazy. I know that's wild, but I did it. I am a triple Trojan. That's what we're referred to as. My doctorate is in education, specifically in organizational change and leadership. So I have a 20-year career in public health, but I decided I wanted this degree in organizational change and leadership because I'm really interested in public health as an institution, the back end, the workforce. Those are the types of things that I'm really, really interested in. And so my dissertation was on the psychological safety of Black local health department professionals in the United States, because I feel like something ain't right and we need to fix it. And my dissertation really brought that out to bear. So yes. Is that enough? Because I know I can talk.
That's what we got you home for. And we gonna let you talk, and we gonna talk about some great stuff on tonight. And going all the way to the other coast, my man in NYC, my guy, Dr. Roy Richards.
Woo,
Welcome
woo.
to the Doc Chat. Let us know a little bit about yourself.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thanks, Doc Turner, and thanks for the opportunity to come on to this most prestigious program. It's a great program, the Doc Chat, and everyone should tune into it. It's a great opportunity for us to network and to get a lot of information out there. Well, as you know, I'm Rory Richards. I You can hear from my melodious accent. I'm actually from Jamaica, that beautiful island of Jamaica. I did my undergraduate at the university. Well, first at the Michael Teachers College and then the University of the West Indies. Did my master's at Fordham here in New York, and my doctorate at St. Peter's University there in New Jersey. So I've been an educator all my life. Ever since I left the military, I've been in education. Presently, I'm a professor at um, City University of New York. That's CUNY in New York here. And I also have my own LLC, Launchpad Education 3.0 consultancy. You want to hear a little bit about the final project that I did?
Sure.
See that? Okay, great. So, my final project looked at leaders' perceptions of Afro Caribbean student success and achievement. And I wanted to find out, how did leaders view the achievement of Afro Caribbean students? So I interviewed 16 leaders across 3 campuses, 2 public campuses and 1 private campus. And I had some really interesting findings that I'll talk about a little later.
Believe it. Absolutely believe it. I'm telling you, we absolutely love it. Appreciate Dr. Dennis Whitfield always checking in, always shows love. Hey, if you have not checked out his podcast, Dr. Witty Today, make sure you check it out every other Monday. He comes through with some heavy hitters as well. We appreciate him and always appreciate the support. Now, if you are checking us out as well, let us know you checking out the Doc Chat. It's Dr. Nicole Vick, it's Dr. Roy Richards. I'm about to let them loose. We about to figure out, why did they decide to do this thing called Get a Doctorate Degree? Dr. Nicole, we got to start with you. What made you say, you know what? after 2 degrees at USC, I'm going back getting that third. What made you say you were going to do it?
It took me a while. I got my master's degree in 2005. So there's a big, a lot of time in between those two degrees. The big barrier for me, I was like, who finna pay for this doctorate? Who? Because I don't know. It's not, I don't know. Right.
Yeah.
And I think that kept me away for a long time. But there was something that my great grandmother said to me a long time ago as a little one. I remember her saying to me, when you get, to be a big girl, you're going to go to college. And I was like, yes, because you're supposed to say yes. Do you say no to your great grandmama? No, you don't. You say yes. And
You
she
don't even know
said,
how it's
good.
going to work out either. You just like, okay, sure.
Yes. And she said, good. She said, because then you'll be Dr. Vic. And so she spoke that into existence. I mean, I was a child. And so it always stuck with me that I needed to make sure that happened. And then I think also, again, I got 20 years into an industry. You're an expert by then. You understand it really well. I had my master's degree. It's like, well, now I want to do some research and see how far I can go with this. And so that's finally when I said, you know what? All right, let me go and sign these loan papers, go and get into this school. And I actually did not intend on going to USC for the third time. I did look into another school, but it was in person and it was far away. And the lady said, hey, you probably should check into USC and see about their program. And I'm like, I was trying not to go back, but I guess I was supposed to, because she said, you might want to call USC and see what they have. I'm like, okay, well,
hey,
there you
it's
go.
all right. That's all right. It's okay. It's like, look, we got it done. And it's funny because it used to be back in the day, it used to be frowned upon. Not this time. It's like, look, did you get it done? That's the key. That's the key right there. Now, Dr. Rory, what made you say, man, I'm gonna go ahead and go to this and do this thing? Because you really probably didn't have to. You were already probably establishing what you were doing and stuff like that. So what made you say, I'm gonna go get that doctorate degree?
Well, great question, and thanks a lot, Dr. Nicole Vic, for that great response there.
Yeah.
Ever since I was a child, one of the things I remember aspiring toward was completing doctoral studies. At that time, we didn't even know that we had EDDs and all of that. I was in Jamaica. We only knew about PhDs, And you would ask me when I was a child, what do I want to do? And I always said one of two things. I wanted to be a pilot, or I wanted to complete my PhD.
Nice.
And so that has been a lifelong dream, and I've tried to follow through on it with a career in education after I left the military. And then my wife and I, we're both educators, and my wife decided that it's time for me to complete the doctorate. Well, as a man, once your wife decides something, you better just go along with it, and because they have that intuitive. I say it facetiously, but really they have this intuitive sixth sense that now is the time, and especially when you have a woman beside you who dreams with you and is ready to build with you, and you're ready to build with her. She's always looking out for your best interest as much as you are looking out for her best interest. And she decided that it was time and convinced me, and I agreed with her that, yeah, honey, it was time. Hid under the bed a little bit, but then she pulled me out and dragged me out and said, hey, it's time. And we applied.
Nice.
We applied and got into the program at St. Peter's. And that's how it went,
Hey, we got to learn more about this. I'm telling you, folks, we're just getting started here on the Doc Chat. I got Dr. Nicole Vic. I got Dr. Rory Richards. And I'm telling you, this is something you want to hear right now. And I'm telling you, even Dr. Whitfield, he's letting it look. Listen to that woman. You about to get some hugs and kisses tonight, my guy. I'm telling you, I love it. I absolutely love it. And hey, you know what? You got somebody to listen to, a great grandmother. You had somebody listen to what? Black women are magical, man. Y'all got some power. Look at
my shirt. What my shirt say? It say Black women lead.
That's
Like,
right.
I'm telling you, I love it. And so back to you, Dr. Vic. So you're in the program, you're starting to fill it out, get your feet wet. What was the moment where you were like, okay, I think I could do this? But then what was the other moment where it was like, oh man, what did I get myself into?
You know, I want to say I always felt like I could do it.
Okay.
Um, because I'm not I'm a smart person. I mean, I feel like I know that I know what I know,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
And I also know that there is more to be known and more for me to understand and learn. But I think that to me coming in with the lived experience that I had, the work ethic I had, the background I have in public health, I was like, oh, I could do this. But I think there are those moments of like, who told me to sign up for this? Who said, right? Whose
Yeah.
idea was this? There's
Yeah.
always that moment. And
Yeah.
I think that comes in with the classwork. They give you all this stuff to read, reading all these chapters, and your assignments and stuff are kind of crazy. But I will say the one thing that saved me, and I tell everybody that's interested in going into a doctoral program, you have to get into community. And what I mean by that is, don't do this by yourself.
That's good.
Find people in your program, and hopefully you have a cohort model. For me, that works for me. I needed that community that of people that will help you, where you are in a reading group and y'all split that reading up so that you're not reading it all by yourself. That check in with you on your assignment. Don't forget, Nicole, your assignment. We got an assignment due next week. It was really important to kind of walk through this process together. And so that I think that cohort model really helped with eliminating a lot of that. Now, what in the world did I get myself into? Right? It kind of takes some of that off because there are at least one or two or three other people that probably feel just like you. So, yeah.
That's good. Yeah. And I mean, it's those things to where we understand now, especially being done, we got to try to pull somebody else back up. We got to let folks know you're going to hit those walls, you're going to hit those moments. And she's exactly right. Having that community is key, and not being prideful in, I just don't know what I'm writing. I don't know the statistical analysis. I don't know who regression is or who N is, but they're pissing me off right now. It's just being real, So it's always making sure that you touch base with your community. And Dr. Roy, what about you? You're finally in. Your wife kind of nudged you a little bit. Okay, she elbowed you in there. You're in there now. What was your like? Okay, I can do this moment, but what also was your moment of, man, babe, this is a little tougher than I thought.
Absolutely, Doc. You know, I really have to emphasize what Doc Nicole just said about community. Community is all important when you're doing this kind of a heavy lift. And make no mistake, a doctoral program is a heavy lift. I don't want anyone to think that it's something that you just get into and you breeze through. You're actually becoming a content creator now, and that is so important for you to have the kind of support that you need. And you're not just creating any old content, you're beginning to contribute to bodies of works across the academic landscape.
Yeah.
And this is serious stuff. Your name is going to be behind the work that you produce. And it's important that you get the communities to back you up, to lift you up. So, Doctor, I got into the program, and I'll be honest with you, I thrived in the program. I
Nice.
thrived in the coursework. I got through the coursework because I was, as Dr. Nicole said, an expert in my field. I've been in the field for over 2 decades, in education, and I've been privileged, docs, to have taught and led at all levels of education, from early childhood to secondary to higher education. I'm in higher education right now, so I had this wide lens that I was able to view education through from end to end. Certainly not knowing everything, but having an idea of a whole lot of it. And as they said, I was almost like a jack of all trade. Almost like a jack of all trade, but that statement actually goes a little further. It's a jack of all trade, master of none is still better than a master of one. That's the whole thing, you know. And so when I got into the program, I thrived. Where the roadblock came now was when I was to begin that independent writing. You know, you've done the coursework, Dr. Turner, you've prepared yourself, Dr. Vic. You think you know, really, you're drilling down into what you want to begin to research. You've read a bunch of articles and papers, and you're on every single academic website known to man. You begin to dream in academic speak. You know, your dreams are about articles. You know, you wake up and you're talking with you're speaking with your loved ones or your friends, and you're speaking like an article.
You ain't lying. You are not lying.
You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
then you've done chapter 1, 2, and 3, that rough draft, and now it's time for you to begin to fill them out.
That's it.
That's when the hump hit. Because
Yeah.
unlike Dr. Nicole, I didn't have that community around me. So I felt almost as if I was walking a path all by myself. And
Yeah.
I'm by nature a loner. So I didn't feel bad about that. But the impact it was having on my work, or the lack thereof, was telling.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
And can I add to
Go
what
right
you're
ahead.
saying? And I think that's why that cohort model or getting into community really helped. So I'll just say this, my program was online. So there were people all over the country. I think we had two people out of the country in other parts of the
Wow.
world. And what helped, or how I lucked out, I'll call it luck. We can call it whatever you want, but there were at least 2 or 3 local people in LA. And it's like, okay, all right, let's go to the coffee shop and we're gonna write for 4 hours together. Now, I don't know what I'm doing, and neither do you, but we're gonna in the midst of us both talking, it's gonna come out. Like, I couldn't get my conceptual framework. And I'm like, all these figures and these drawings. I'm like, I don't know what I want it to look like. And so we're in the library at that point. We were meeting every weekend in the library, and there's a marker board. And I'm like, so what if I just draw it out? Critical race theory, and here's the institution of public health as a house. The workforce is holding up the house, the institution, and then the thing. They're like, just draw the picture. Don't try to make it an actual, lie. You know how you see some of them things in them journal articles, and I'm like, I don't understand what that says. They said, Nicole, just draw out a picture. But I had to have that community and talk that out with them in that library to get to that conclusion. And then it was done. So I think, to your point, I'm a loner too. I'll sit by myself and type, but being together with them, even working on totally different, that person's dissertation is not the same as mine, but we sitting in there like, does this sound right? I'm like, no, that really helped us survive and get through that whole thing. So yeah, I recommend that model for sure. If people are not sure about themselves, I think that cohort model is really, really helpful.
Good. Yeah, and it's worth looking and making sure that you see how that program is set up, because now the cohort model seems like it's getting rare, because a lot of people are just excited to get in, not realizing, oh, I'm in here by myself. It's kind of tough. So we want to make sure that individuals start to know there's different types of programs you're going to get into, and that support is big. And we appreciate Dr. V. She'll be on here in a few minutes. And she said, hey, that conceptual framework was tough. It was absolutely tough. And those things are things you have to know once you get to that finish line. Once again, folks, this is the Doc Chat. Dr. Nicole Vick, Dr. Roy Richards. Now we want to talk about getting to the end. We already dived into, y'all starting to get to that particular dissertation, that final project stage. You're getting those first few chapters done. What was it for you, Dr. Vick, as you started to get into it? and finally getting to that dissertation defense day, what was the feeling getting those last few chapters done before you defended?
It was a lot of work. I think there was a couple of things happening for me because I'm so closely tied to the topic that I chose, because I am a Black person working in a local health department, because my psychological safety has been compromised in that space. And I'm literally analyzing this data and reading the words of these people that I've interviewed. I interviewed 10 people across the United States.
Okay.
And they're literally telling their story to me, but it's my story. I'm like, yep, 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 yep. And I'm feeling the weight of that, what that means. And so I'm dealing with that. And then of course the technical, I got to get this done. And then I was kind of meeting up on a timeline where I thought that I was not going to be able to defend before graduation, which actually would have been okay because I'm still going to walk. We still walking across the stage. But my chair was like, well, it would probably feel good to you to try to get done before graduation and didn't have it done. But then it was like the scheduling, and I got scared that I wasn't going to be able to finish it to get to her in time to get it, that whole technicality of all that. And so I was freaked out about that. But it all worked out. And so I'll just share this. The day of my defense date was April 29th.
Okay.
Prior to that, I had come across, and it was a guest on my podcast. He is a professor of African studies at Cal State Long Beach. He wanted me to come talk to his students, and he asked me to come do it April 29th, the morning of April 29th. And so that was scheduled first, and then the defense date came, and it was April 29th at 3 p.m. And I was like, oh, I probably should cancel with Cal State Long Beach because I need to get ready for this defense. I can't be doing two things at once. But I told myself, no, do both. I said the best place that I can be in the morning is at Cal State Long Beach, talking to a group of undergrad students about my Black ancestors in Los Angeles, and really speaking to how they have really helped me get to where I am. That's the best mind space that I need to be in preparation to be on this defense at 3:00. But I was a hot mess, and my stomach was hurting, and I cried like a baby when they, came back and said, congratulations. I was crying. So it was a ball of emotions, and it was crazy. It was also, I think I make the best choice for myself for that day.
Awesome. That's absolutely awesome. And Dr. Rory, what about yourself? The lead up and then finally getting to that defense day.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, I didn't do any work for one whole year. I came into my program knowing what I wanted to research. I knew that I wanted to research something to do with Afro-Caribbean students, academics, and their interaction, or the intersection of the academy and Afro-Caribbean students or academics. So all my writing, all my research, all my assignments, I tried to lean toward that topic. Now, where I began to have the problem was when I was to decide what my theoretical framework would be.
Okay.
And for some reason, I could not decide on the theoretical framework, and coupled with that was that my program is a very rigorous program, as are all doctoral programs. And again, like yourself, Dr. Vic, it was an online program. And very rigorous program. However, there was a lack of diverse faculty who were able to lean into my area of research.
That's huge.
And give me the kind of guidance. So when all of that is coupled with the lack of community, plus the lack of diverse faculty who are able to really appreciate, or I shouldn't say appreciate because they did appreciate, but really lean into the research, my research itself alongside me, then you realize that it became very complicated, to the point where for one whole year in 2022, I did nothing.
Mm.
I absolutely did. I didn't even open my file. I'm being real right now with you. Excuse me. My allergies are giving me a warm time. I'm being as real as possible because I want all listeners and those who are in the dissertation phase to not feel intimidated or discouraged by having perhaps feeling demotivated or maybe having extended periods of a writer's block.
That's right. That's right.
You know what I mean, Dr. Turner?
Of course.
One whole year, one entire year, I didn't even open my dissertation file.
Yeah.
I didn't want to. And then I went to a program at BAM. That's the Brooklyn Academy of Music. It was a conversation with Bernie Saunders and Cornel West. And I have his book here. One of his books, one of Saunders' book that he just put. It's okay to be angry about the state that the world is in, or that America is in. So something like that. Really great conversation. Really great conversation. And the spark came back. Now, along with that, in 2022, I am a Christian, and I want the world to know that. In 2022, my pastor, Dr. Deon T. Harrigan, preached a sermon about involuntary and voluntary immigrants, where he introduced the Ogbos cultural ecological theory. Theoretical framework, CET. And that theoretical framework fit like a glove.
Wow. Wow.
Into my research.
That's
I
beautiful.
mean, I literally heard click when he was preaching. The two parts came together to make a whole.
That is beautiful.
And that drove me into the study. Now, the spark came back from Bernie Mac. My wife is there supporting me. And so in January, at the end of January 2023, I began to write. I began to read again. And I began to synthesize the information and put it out on paper.
Love it. Love it.
It was an amazing experience when things started to click and the theoretical framework came together. The final piece that brought it together also was that I sort of reworked my dissertation committee. And I included two faculty members of different universities.
Okay. Outside
Black faculty members of different universities who became my community and who I was able to relate to one on one. They were able to understand where I wanted to go. And between myself and the committee members, we were able to come up with we were able to adapt the theoretical framework to exactly fit my research. So my theoretical framework was Ogbo's cultural ecological theory conceptualized through critical race theory. And I tell you, that just fit my research exactly. And that sent me right into the defense. Started writing at the end of January, really started working, did the interviews in June to the end of June. That came through so quickly. Wrote up chapter 4 and 5. Thought I would not be able to defend before December's graduation. But then 2 weeks before, I called the chair of the department, the dean of the department, and the dean said, of course I can get you in for the last defense on the 15th of December. And if you're ready, I'll just call up your chair. And they reached out to the chair, and the chair said, I'm excited about this because I've been telling him that do not let perfect be the enemy of good. But Rory doesn't listen. He wants it to be perfect. So he spent all this time trying to make the thing perfect. I know I could go on, but it was
Oh,
exciting times, Dr. Turner. And
I
when I
know.
was in the defense,
Mhm.
defending away, the defense came and the defense went. My chair said this was the best dissertation she read for the year. The dean of the program said it was
Wow.
the best, and here I was.
I'm telling you, it's just something that's so special when you sit there and it's like it's a ton of goo. But boy, when that thing come together, you got that diamond and it's done. And it's just like, oh man, how did this happen? I'm telling you, folks, we're just getting started here. I'm telling you because we are about to find out what that day was to get hooded. And Dr. Whitfield, he is telling the truth. Got to go in with something. You got to go in knowing you want to do something. If you don't do that going into the doctorate degree, you might be in trouble because that's where people get stuck. Because I heard a long time ago, and it's true. Coursework easy, dissertation, final project is hard. They're gonna give you them A's in that coursework. That's fine, but you better put that towards getting something done. That's very, very important. So
I
let's go
agree.
ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Because I
I was
want to
going to say
pull
I would
something
agree
up.
because I've seen I'm in a couple of groups, where people are working on their doctorate or intending to enroll. And sometimes I hear people come in there and say stuff like, I'm finished on my coursework, but any ideas on what I should do my dissertation about? I think I want to do it on this. And I'm like, how did they come in? Like, honestly, when I applied, I had to kind of talk about what I wanted. So, like, I had to think about it now. Did I switch it up a little bit? Yes. But,
Okay.
like, I knew I wanted to focus on the public health workforce.
That's right.
Initially, I wanted to focus on why do local health departments, all they do is stop at training when it comes to DEI? They just train you and then that's it. And you don't teach them how to operationalize what they're doing. That's what I wanted to work on first. But then I was like, no, I want to talk about something else. But to me, coming in with absolutely like, oh, I don't know. I don't know if that's a good idea. Because then
That's
it's
right.
just, I don't know. Yeah.
That's exactly right. Exactly right. Let me
And
get
Dr.
this
Turner,
pulled up. Oh yeah, go ahead, real quick.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I really want to give a shout out to two of my committee members, you know, really great guys. Melvin Jai Jackson uh out of North Carolina State University. He's the associate vice provost, and and
Okay.
and also Kevin McLean. Kevin, these guys really helped me to bring my thoughts together about around the Black experience in the United States and the Afro-Caribbean experience, the Black African American experience in the United States, and the African American experience in the United States Academy. They really helped me to bring the thoughts together, and that's why I can't overemphasize what Dr. Vic mentioned earlier, the importance of community, because they became my community.
That's right.
You know,
That's
they
right.
were the people who I was bouncing off, and they were so accommodating and kind. Dr. Jackson would meet with me every Friday, and man, if I didn't feel like meeting this Friday, he said to me, "Listen, we set this time up so that you'll be able to, so that we'll be able to." Speak on your terms. If you're not ready on the Friday, it's okay. There was never this guilt trip. There was never this burden. So the dissertation began to look like and feel like my friend, like I was a part of it, like I was supposed to be doing it. He made me feel, seriously, he made me feel like I was the master of my work.
Mhm.
Wow.
Now,
That's
here's
right.
the thing. I think I might be at least 15 years or 20 years older than him, and it made me question how, and this is something I might write about sometime in the future, how younger leaders are able to mentor older leaders.
Mhm.
That'd be good. That'd be good. Yeah.
Interesting phenomenon, because he was a master at mentoring me
Mhm.
in my dissertation phase. And he was much younger than me.
Yeah.
It was an amazing thing to experience and to watch. I remember when we sat together and we were looking at how can we visualize the conceptualization of CET through CRT. And,
Mhm.
and like you, Dr. Vic, we actually drew it and
Yeah.
created a, 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 a visual
Yeah.
conceptualization. It was beautiful. That was in my dissertation also.
Love that. We love that. Let's get this pulled up here because we got to show the world. So you got here, Dr. Vic. How did it feel getting that robe, putting on that tam, getting hooded? How did it feel to know you made it to that graduation stage?
Man, that was great. And of course I had to, start off with a photo shoot. So those photos, I have there's a photographer here in Los Angeles. He's very busy. He does all the, politicians in Black Los Angeles. He's very good. And I told him when I started, I said, "You taking my cap and gown pictures, sir. I don't want nobody else taking my pictures." And he said, "All right." So and he's so sweet. We went to USC, we walking around looking all crazy, but he did an amazing job. So that's where those photos came from. But the actual graduation day was amazing. I will say that initially I wasn't even sure I was going to graduate because of there were some, people that were demonstrating on campus in
Oh
support
yeah.
of
That's
Palestine.
right.
And I did not, I'm Black. Look, I don't want to cross no picket line. I don't cross nobody picket line. If this is important, I'm staying. That's fine. So we were trying to figure out alternatives to participating in a way that was meaningful. But all in all, I guess it all worked out in some way. And so
Yeah.
I finally decided to go ahead and participate. And I'm glad I did. My daughter was there. And I forgot to tell you all this. I started college undergrad as a teen mom. So literally, I walked on the campus of USC in 1996 pregnant. So for her to be with me for this entire journey from the very beginning all the way to the end, she was there. She's 27 now.
Wow.
To see her mama do what her mama said she was going to do. And I think that for me is really important for your children to see, regardless of how old they are. To see you do what you say you're going to do. So to have her there, and my brother was there, and my family was really, really important. So it was great. I was like, y'all, can't nobody tell me nothing about me after today. The price has gone up.
We love it. Absolutely love it. And cannot leave out the great Dr. Roy. Let me get yours pulled up here. What was this day like, sir? What was it like? Oh, I think I got you on mute.
I
There you
really
go.
like the fact. I really like the fact that Dr. Vic brought up her past experience that she started as a teen mother. But those are important touch points to bring up and to point out in the life of academics, that hurdles and obstacles, or what we perceive to be hurdles and obstacles, are just there to really propel us forward. And if we can change our perspective on how we look at what we perceive to be problems and see them as opportunities, then we'll get so much more out of the experience. And here's my perspective why I say this, Dr. Turner. I was expelled from high school. My first high school I was expelled from.
Wow.
And this common knowledge. And I was accepted into another high school in Jamaica, in the rural part of Jamaica, and that's how I sort of kick-started my high school academic career. I was expelled when I was in fourth form, which would be a grade 10 here in the United States. And I never attended any of my graduations, even my undergraduate or my master's. I never attended any of those graduations. I never really saw the importance. I was, at that time, I was more of a transactional person. I did the deed, just give me my certificate and let me move on. It's a transaction, you know.
Right.
But this doctoral experience and how much it took out of me and how it changed my perspective on the socio-economic landscape that Black people exist in within the United States. This experience caused me to want to be a part of this commencement. Now, I graduated in December 30th, and I walked in the commencement uh, 2 weeks ago. It was an amazing experience. It was, for me, a life-changing experience.
Yeah, because
Now,
who are these brothers in the picture? Who are these brothers?
absolutely, these are some of the other graduates there: Eugene Harris and Musa Abdullah, and others right there. And we came together. This was during the hooding. That was before the graduation. We came together right after the holding. We said we had to get this picture of the brothers
Nice.
in solidarity.
Nice.
It was an amazing experience. Here's a quick thing I want you to know. My expulsion at high school came as a result of the death of my mother. I was an A student, and my grades systematically went down. I got into the wrong crowd. I became a D student, and they kicked me out of the school. On the morning of my graduation, my uncle flew down from California and gave me a high school pin from Jamaica. It was my mother's high school pin. He had had
Wow.
that, he had had that pin for 50 years in
Wow.
pristine condition. Full circle. Full circle there. My academic career started on a rough note with high school, and here it is ending with the doctoral degree. My mother's high school pinned on my sash, and you
Beautiful.
referred to me now as Dr. Rory Richards. I mean, that's an amazing experience.
That is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. I'm telling you, folks, these stories are gold. I mean, you're talking about overcoming obstacles to get to that doctorate degree. You can't put a price on it. You just absolutely can't put a price on it. I'm just so blessed and honored that you all have come just to give so much love to yourself. You know, Snoop, people might have called it a little cocky, a little arrogant. Sometimes you got to thank yourself what you overcame, what you went through. And of course, I'm a believer of God, Jesus Christ. I believe it. I mean, I'm telling you, sometimes, man, when it was just you, it was just you. Some people will never understand. They will never understand, but it's a beautiful thing. Absolutely beautiful thing. And we are going to make sure, let me make sure I get that up there because Dr. B had to show love. She had to definitely show love. I can't wait till she gets on here in a few minutes. And Dr. Whitfield is like, hey, that was him as well, but it was just a proud moment, absolutely proud moment when you're there. And so to wrap up, I have 3 topics. Dr. Vic's already picked the topic, so we just gonna go ahead and go with it. All right, Dr. Vic, we seen, and you working as a public health expert, there was a shocking video that came out. CNN put it out of known person Sean Diddy Combs putting his hands on his then girlfriend Cassie. And I need to get your thoughts, because what did it make you think of, and what can we do to make sure this crap don't happen again?
Absolutely. So, we can't deny the impact that he has had in the music industry. For a lot of us that were coming of age in the 90s, I was in high school / college into the 90s, into the 2000s, and all of his music, all his artists that he had signed were on the radio. So we can't not deny that aspect of the contributions that he made. However, from a public health perspective, I think what the most important thing to think about is the impact of violence on our communities. And of course, we know violence comes in many forms. And in this case, we're talking about domestic violence. And it makes me sad to know that a lot of people were quick to dismiss Cassie when she said what she said, right? When the information came out. Until the video, then oh well, okay, well, now we'll believe her. I think that's one of the things that I think is really harmful. From a public health perspective, again, in our communities, when people don't feel safe to report incidents of violence, when they don't feel safe to disclose, what does that do? It causes undue harm and allows people that are offenders to continue to offend and to harm other people. So I think my party message is we need to believe people when they say what happened to them. We believe them first off instead of, oh, well, what did you do? Or, well, maybe this. No. Right? What's going on here? How can we make sure these types of things don't happen again? Because again, this type of violence is very harmful to our communities. It also sends a very negative message. If you believe Diddy over someone else, right, it sends a harmful message to all the other women, all the other people in your community that may have been impacted in that way. Oh, well, if I speak up, nobody's going to listen to me, so I just won't say anything. So we got to shift our culture, the way that we think about these types of things, and really, really, first of all, protect those that have been harmed. And then second of all, how do we make it so that people that are in danger of becoming offenders, we can rehabilitate, we can kind of pull back and make sure that they don't continue that cycle of violence in our community. So that's kind of my stance on that.
We appreciate that. And this is coming from a doctor who has that public health background, who understands how traumatic this was to everybody. And we appreciate those insights because they're powerful. We're going to give it to you, Dr. Rory. You're in New York. What were your thoughts when you saw the video, and what are your solutions that can help the next generation go through this? Because as Dr. Vic was saying, there were so many things that came up against Cash. Why didn't she leave and all those different types of things? But as a man, what were your thoughts and what do you think about the whole situation?
You know, first, let me say it was one of the most reprehensible acts I can think of. And to have witnessed it, you know, I was appalled. I was sickened, in fact. One of the things I've noticed with our society is that we have become very callous. We tend to want to always blame the victim. And this is something that has happened throughout the Black history across the diaspora. We blame the victim. Well, why do Black people not thrive? Why can't they pull themselves up by their bootstraps? Well, you've denied us access to resources that would create generational wealth for generations on top of generations. You've redlined us. So of course we cannot move ourselves forward, but the victim is blamed. It's the same thing here. A young lady, whether or not she found herself being attracted by the fame, the glitter, glim, and the glam, it doesn't matter. She should be safe. We should be safe to make our mistakes, and we should not be accused or blamed when we are abused because of these things. You know, Dr. Vic says, you know, she guarantees she wasn't attracted to being kicked on the floor. I have to agree with that, you know. However, you know, I think what tarnishes the ability of the wider population to be able to accept stories or accounts right off the bat is when there are people who do these things just to gain fame and to make money, who make these accusations. It puts legitimate problems and legitimate accusations in a bad light and causes the population to question it. Now, let me be very clear. We need to respond as quickly as possible when someone says they are being abused, because especially domestic abuse is and can be a matter of life and death. However, we need to have systems in place to ensure that those who would take advantage of the goodwill of the rest of us who want to respond quickly and who would make who would tell lies then about situations are not able to do it, because then it puts other women who are being abused at risk. It's like the story of Wolf. You know, the young man went and he cried wolf, and really there was no wolf. We have to keep our women safe.
That's good.
We have to keep our children safe, and we have to keep our men safe. And I think there needs to be some way where we begin to really educate men on as to the repercussions of this kind of abuse, the impact it has on our children, the impact it has on our community, the impact it has upon the development and growth, especially the Black community. You know, when a young man sees a superstar abusing a young lady, Black community, this Black superstar is a role model, whether he wants to be or not.
That's good. That's good. That's true. That's all true. Dr. Vic, anything? Well, yeah, let's get Dr. Vic in there because I want to make sure I get her second perspective on this because this is good. This is good.
No, and I agree. I think that, even especially the conversation about role model, whether you want to be or not, people are watching you. And so there is some level of responsibility. And to your point, if someone is seeing this happen and nothing happens to that person, someone is harming someone and they don't get in trouble, nothing happens, then it's like, well, hey, well, then maybe this is the way to go. And so, unfortunately, then it perpetuates this cycle. I don't think many, and I'll just say this, by being a woman, I don't think many women lie or mischaracterize being abused. I mean, I'm not going to say it doesn't happen, but I don't think it. I think that doesn't happen as much as we think it does. But I will also agree, we do need on both sides to really focus on how do we raise our children to be respectful of each other's space, autonomy, and also to have people understand that when they are in positions of power, be it authority at a job, be it I have all this money, can do what I want, that there's an added responsibility, right? To be a good steward of that money, that respect, that authority, and that power. But I just think that there's so much that we need to do in general that we are not doing as a society and as a culture, that we could be really creating a better environment. And something you said, Dr. Richards, about safety, where people feel safe. And I think that's the most important thing. My dissertation was on psychological safety, but what about physical safety? What about all those things? We need to be building our communities so that everyone can operate and live their life to the best of their capability in a way that is safe for them. So yeah, for sure.
Dr. Roy, final thoughts.
Yeah, real quickly, I want to jump in here, and I agree with everything that Dr. Vic said. I don't think many women lie. I think that 99, maybe 0.99% of women are telling the truth. Let me just make that clear. I really believe that. But just like the situation with police officers, most of our police officers across the nation are good people. They want to uphold the law, but then there are a subset of them who are not necessarily good people.
Indeed.
They are part of an institution that struggles with the vestiges of institutionalized racism. And what that does, it tarnishes everything. So one person who comes with an untrue story tarnishes every other true story and puts thousands, hundreds of thousands of women at risk. And that's why people were questioning her story. Because one person in the past, not necessarily two or three, just one person in the past came with a story that was proven to not be true. You know, everyone is going to try to hold that up and say, see, these people are always telling lies, when that's not the truth.
That's right. That's
You know,
right.
so I wanted to do it.
Oh yeah, we appreciate it. We appreciate it. I'm telling you, these doctors have been awesome. We're gonna let Dr. Vic let us know what she's working on and let folks know where they can find you. We appreciate you being on the Doc Chat.
Sure. So I have a weekly podcast as well called Nicole D. Vic Live. We're gonna rebrand it really soon because now I'm a doctor. I can name it something else now. And so you can follow me. I'm on YouTube. I'm on LinkedIn more than anything these days. I have books and things on my website. My website is www.nicoledvic.com. So everything is branded the same. I have books. One of them sitting right here. Well, actually, two of them books out. You know, you want to read about my life. This is my first book. You can check those out on my website and reach out. I love to talk, so as you can tell, so just reach out to me, and I'll be happy to chat with you about public health, about social justice, about any other types of topics that are of interest. But my website again, www.nicoledvic.com.
Love it, love it. And Dr. Roy, what are you working on? Where can folks find you?
Absolutely. So I'm the founder of Launchpad Education 3.0 Consultancy LLC. You can find me on LinkedIn. Just go to my profile. You'll be able to go onto my LinkedIn page. There, I'm on Facebook also. And the website is soon to come, Launchpad Education 3.0 Consultancy. And what I do is I help institutions of learning connect to the right students, and I connect the right students to the right institutions, which is very important. We find ourselves oftentimes going to the wrong schools or getting into the wrong programs. And I also help institutions with capacity building, and I provide keynote speaking. So there are quite a few things I know. And now for my research, my dissertation brought to the fore the idea that there is actually a reversed achievement gap taking place in some of our universities, where Black students are actually outperforming white students. You know that the common knowledge and the prevailing literature says that there is a achievement gap where white students graduate 10% at 10% higher rates than Black students. Well, my research found that at least at one private campus, Black students were actually outperforming white students. They graduated at higher rates, they got better jobs, they participated in campus at greater rates. And really quickly, what happened is that both the white students and the Black students come from similar socioeconomic backgrounds. So they had the same starting point and they were given the same opportunities. And the Black students actually outperform the white students. So what I want to do, I want to see if this if it's being replicated across other institutions, and if it can be replicated across other institutions.
Love it. Absolutely love it. I want to thank y'all so much. We got doctors in waiting to get on the show. I'm going to see if they ready to come. Let me bring Dr. V so she can say hello. Say hello, Dr. V. Say hello. All right. All right. All right. I think we got a little feedback there, but I think we make sure we get that cleaned up there, because we don't want to listen to us listening to us. We want to make sure we get y'all set. It's all good. All good. Let me bring in Dr. Reese. Let me see if he's ready. Dr. Kevin Reese, there he is. And let me bring in the great Dr. Wright. There she is. We appreciate you.
Changing of the guard. We about to log on.
But we appreciate Dr. Vic. We appreciate Dr. Richard. Thank y'all so very much. We appreciate y'all being on the Jock Chat. Y'all have a great evening. All right, let's see. All right. We all good? I think we're good. How are y'all doing? Y'all all right? We are live here on the Doc Chat. Oh, they had to put the tam on.
Is it too much? Because we can keep going. I walked last weekend and I can't help.
We wanted to say congratulations. Now you're kind of going in and out sound wise. We want to make sure your sound. Do you have any headphones or anything? Or
we'll get it.
Oh, you got your got your boom mic there.
How are we doing now? Are we better?
Still a little airy. Yeah, it's real airy. Real airy. We want to make sure we get you sounded. So we'll play with it. Let's go to Dr. Wright. Dr. Wright, how are you on this?
How are you? Good to see you.
Doing good, doing good. And Dr. Reese, let's get you off mute there. How are you, sir?
He is in the building tonight. He is doing well. Okay. I'm excited. I am excited. Thank you for the invitation this afternoon. This evening, rather. I'm in a different time zone, so it's throwing me off a little bit. I just got back from vacation. Okay. I treated myself to a vacation after graduation. And yes, so I am, yes.
We love it. We love it. And we're going to jump right into it. Now, Dr. V, you just graduated, got hooded yourself. How are you feeling? Let's get Dr. V on here. Let's see if she hears us all right. You hear us all right, Dr. V? You there? Yeah, I can't hear you at all on your end. Let's try it again. Yeah.
Any better?
Now that sounds good. Try that. Let's try that.
Okay, let's try that.
You're good. You're good.
Good?
Yep.
Pretty good?
Yep, you're good.
Oh, now y'all got to worry about what I say.
That's what you're here for. Wonderful, wonderful. All right, so we're going to jump right into it. Like I said, you just got hooded, but let's go back to the beginning. Why go get a doctorate degree? Why do it? And where did you start out, like life-wise and everything? Because you got a powerful story, ma'am. And I'm telling you, to get that doctorate degree, you're an inspiration. We got to hear about it. Why go get a doctorate degree?
Me?
Yes.
Look, here's the deal. I got very excited today. I was so excited when Trump was convicted, but let me tell you why. It has nothing to do with politics. It is not about the politics. It's about what this could mean for the felony community. As a member, as a felon, as someone who's representing the same space as the former president.
Speak to it.
I think I might be able to get a job at a gas station now. Like, I think I might be able to work for the government. I think we might be able to have voting rights in all the conservative states. I am really, really excited about this. And it has nothing to do with politics and everything to do with access. So my story is I've stripped, sober. That's the type of person I am, in case you're wondering. You know, I've been to prison, and I also now have 4 degrees. I can share them with you, a BS, a MS, an MBA, and a doctorate. And I started school in 2017. So this is what 50 looks like for me. And it's been a long journey, but it's also been a possible journey. And I am really excited about the new opportunities on the horizon as we have a new mascot, as we have a new representative.
It's not a black person.
And it's not a black person. Come through. Dr. Kevin Reese was like, I'm out, I'm done.
Oh, yeah, go.
The block is hot. I'm ready.
It's all good. It's all good. And Dr. Wright, we got you on. You're a little bit airy as well. As long as you're kind of close to the mic, you're good. We just want to make sure we got you. So
okay.
You should be good. You should be good. There you go. There you go. How and why did you decide to go get a doctorate degree? Why did you say, I'm going to give this joker a shot? Why did you do it?
Me. Okay. Am I airy still, or can you hear me good?
You're good. You're good right there. Yeah.
Okay. So I knew that I wanted to get the degree that I got or study the doctorate program that I studied since 2011, 2012. Because I have been on a track to be a social worker for a very long time. And so when I was in undergrad getting my bachelor's in social work at San Diego State as Text for Life, I saw my professor and he had 3 letters behind his name. And I said, I've never seen those before. What does that mean? He said, oh, it's a doctorate in social work. I said, oh, well, that makes sense for me. I'm getting my bachelor's right now. I'm very young. I'm a single parent. I had my, 4 or 5 month old son on my hip. But I said, that's my trajectory. And so I went right after my bachelor's, got my master's. I went into the work field. I attained a lot of experience. And I started to build out my own business as an entrepreneur. And I knew that as an entrepreneur, this was the next step for me to go back to school. And so I applied and I was accepted. It was really exciting. I was already a professor. I already worked for the California State University system. I was already doing a lot of things. And so it just made sense for me at that time to go back to school and get my doctorate. And yeah.
We love it. We love it.
Dr. Turner.
Yeah.
It just made sense to go get a doctorate with a young child while I'm also teaching. Okay, Dr. Wright, I see you.
Yeah. A lot of times you got to be out of your mind to go get that doctorate. We love it though. I love the fact we got mothers on here, folks. Mothers that say we're going to get doctors, and we definitely commend y'all so much. And Dr. Reese, yourself, why go get a doctorate, my guy? Why did you say this is the path for me?
It's like Verizon. Can you hear me now? I want to make sure y'all can hear me. Okay.
Yeah, you're good.
Listen. Okay. Picture it, Sicily. Okay. It was 2020. The GRE was they didn't ask for no GRE. I said I've been waiting and I've been pushing it off, and I kept saying I gotta take the GRE, and I kept missing the deadlines. Probably self-sabotage, right? And then they said we don't require the GRE. I said, oh, we're gonna do it today. Then let's go ahead and do this.
Today's the day.
Touch your neighbor and say, let's do this tonight. But I had some really good mentors in undergrad. I worked in higher education, had some amazing mentors at Kentucky State University where I went to undergrad. And I saw, just like Dr. Wright, they had these letters behind their names. And I said, you know what, I can do that too. Like, why can't I do that? And when I got to my very first job out of college, I worked at Livingstone College in Salisbury, North Carolina. And the president, Dr. Jimmy R. Jenkins, would always say that education is the surest vehicle to upward mobility. And that thing stuck with me. And I said, you know what, Kevin, you've got to keep on going. Because at this point, a bachelor's degree is like a kindergarten progression. Everybody got one. Okay, so you got to keep going at this point, right? And so I want to be in that rare air and space of being like, 1 or 2% of the people in the country who has this attainment, right? And I wanted to be there, and I wanted to do it to be able to show my nephews what Black brilliance looks like, that you can do this too, right? And so that's why I got it. And so, and I aspire to be university president one day. And so that's why I got my doctorate.
Love it. We love it. We got Dr. Reese, we got Dr. Wright, we got Dr. V. We're just getting started here on the second hour of the Doc Chat Show. If you're still checking us out, let us know you're checking us out. Shout out these amazing doctors, because we about to jump into it. And let me tell you who I'm about to let jump into it is Dr. V. Now, Dr. V, you got into the program. You're in the program. Yeah. When was it like, I like this? I like
Never. This. Never. What do you mean I like this? You've done this. It's not that you like this. It's that you're so driven and so committed and so gosh darn stubborn.
Yeah.
So stubborn. And I had the privilege of having a Black chair. And I was her also first one to make it across the threshold. And I didn't want to let her down. That's what happened. I was too ashamed to fail. And I was too stubborn to quit. And I was too proud to let her down.
Nice.
But did I ever like it? Well, I can tell you, I didn't mind chapter 1.
Okay.
And I didn't mind chapter 2. But 3, 4, 5, and what felt like 6, I wasn't checking for them at all.
Yeah. I'm telling you, those were the edits, I'm pretty sure. And they're never fun. Never fun. Now, Dr. Wright, you're in the program now. what was the moment that you were like, okay, I think I could do this. I think I got this. But then what was the real talk moment and like, oh, I don't know what I got myself into now?
So I defended April 12th. Can you hear me?
Yep, you're good.
I really do have T-Mobile service, and it's god awful. It's god awful. So
It's all right. You're good. You're good.
Verizon check-in, Dr. Reese, but I definitely need to do a T-Mobile check-in. So I defended April 12th of this year. I started my program May 2021, and I don't know how many weeks in between, but now I feel inspired, Dr. Turner, to count. But it was essentially every single week. I was wondering what I got myself into.
Real talk. That's real.
Essentially every single week, and I have some material that I'm going to be working on and bringing out because it's under talked about and it's under discussed. The experiences mentally, emotionally, physically that I went through for those 4 calendar years. The moment when I thought that I had got it, possibly at the end of commencement on May 10th, possibly. Still receiving the feelings of I got it. But it's just a really, for me, I didn't really talk about my program for those 4 years. Nobody knew I was getting my doctorate, not even my family, not even my close friends. Really, essentially nobody except for the people that were very, very close to me. And so,
any particular reason for that? Because I've heard that before. I've really heard that before.
I mean, I'm a social worker, so I've learned a little bit about crabs in a barrel. And oftentimes when you tell too many people the experience or the work that you're doing to elevate yourself as a professional, they will find ways to taint that experience for you. They will find ways to pull you down, and they will find ways to use that against you as a weapon.
Okay.
So I was not going to allow anybody to taint my experience or to burn in my mind with their thoughts of what I should be doing. Yes, Trojan, fight on. Thank you, ma'am. And love it.
Because funny enough, I'm really thinking y'all had to be at the same Black graduation. I really believe y'all both were.
100%.
Nice.
So, I mean, so when I say May 10th commencement, I didn't really get a chance to live in the moment for those 4 years. I was head down, working, focused. I was working full time for a county. I was building up my business as an entrepreneur, running a household, and just doing a lot. And so teaching, there was one semester I was taking 2 doctoral classes and I was teaching 2 classes for college students. Okay. So 4 nights a week, I was a student or a professor. Wow. So I didn't really have time to tell people. I just had to get it done. And so May 10th came around. I did Black Grad on the 8th. I did honors, student award recognitions on the 9th. May 10th was graduation. And I was just sitting there like looking around like, okay, I really that week really allowed myself to be in the moment and really feel it and not get overwhelmed, not jump ahead, but live in the moment. It was the best feeling ever. So probably at that time, I felt like I got it. But every single week, and I'm not trying to be funny, I'm not trying to be like over senseless with like I wasn't sure if I was going to make it physically or at all.
No, that's real talk. That's real talk. And Dr. Reese, your feelings in the program, what did it feel like, on the real talk end, that raw emotions? What was it like?
Because he gonna give it to you. I felt like it was academic hazing. Okay, that's what I felt like. Okay, I have never been in a place, to be quite transparent, there were some moments, and I have to agree with Dr. Wright, there were some moments where I felt, that imposter syndrome creep up on me real quick. Like, do you deserve to be here? I think something, and Dr. Wright, you mentioned this, and I don't know if you're going to add this to your research, but something that is not discussed, I didn't tell a lot of folks either, like my immediate family knew, because I had to get it done. And, like, again, when you tell too many people, okay, not everybody is always excited for you. Let's go ahead and be honest about that thing. If you're doing better than some people, they're gonna try and make sure they can sabotage you in any way possible. I didn't tell a lot of people. I wanted to get it done, keep it rolling. Let's go. The one thing that's not talked about, she talked about how busy she was. When I started our program, I was in a job that I absolutely hated. Okay. You're talking about anxiety and stress. And I'm like, for me, school was my outlet then because I hated my job. I'm being honest. It was a terrible environment. I had never been so frustrated in my life. I was so frustrated in my job to the point where I was going to go be a substitute teacher. Oh, okay, with no benefits, just to get out of my job. But we don't talk about going through a program that's already stressful enough mentally, but then being in a work environment that's stressful mentally. And on top of that, between July 2022 and December 2023, I lost my grandmother, my two aunts, and my great uncle. So adding grief on top of that, but you still have to push through. You got to show up and smile every day, especially as a Black man, right? I'm in constant introspection of how I'm perceived by the world. Okay, because that wrong facial expression, oh, he's an angry Black man. No, I'm just tired of you. That's all. But it's like that. But it was frustrating. I'm glad that I made it in the same vein as Dr. Wright. I was in the moment at graduation, and I was counting down every day. But I'm when people say, "Oh, hey, Dr. Reese," I'm like, "Oh, that's me. My fault. Hey, how you doing?" I'm still getting used to that, right?
That's right.
One of my coworkers, she gonna Dr. Reese me all day long, and I'm like, I promise you can call me Kevin. I promise you can. I mean, like you, because I know you, right? When it's board meeting, you call me Dr. Reese. But the program I was in was so very helpful. I had a great group of people. I remember logging on the first night in January of 2021 and seeing all these brilliant Black faces. Wow. I saw Black men in my program, right? And it ain't many of us, right? I took a picture, I put it on my Instagram, I think, and there were 6 of us, 6 Black men who graduated together. We started together, we finished together, right? And so you can't tell me Black men don't graduate. I was very excited to see my brothers out there. But what was the process difficult some days? Absolutely. Did I want to give up some days? Absolutely. I don't know if any of y'all, are part of org fraternities or sorority, but it's like, when the road you're trudging seems all uphill, okay, rest if you must, but don't you quit. And I had to keep that at the forefront of my mind. Kevin, somebody else is looking at you saying, well, if he can make it, I can make it too. And I know that's like, that's extra work on you. But for somebody, you are somebody's inspiration. I'm like, Kevin, you got this. Keep pressing. Were days hard? Yes. Did tears fall down my face? Yes. Did I'm like, I'm ready to drop out? Yes. But I made it. And so I'm like Dr. Wright. I don't think it really set in. I mean, until after graduation, like I was in the moment, I was so excited. And I was like, oh, I hope I ain't forgetting no edits or turn a paragraph in. Like, Lord, don't let them email me and tell me that they can revoke it. Like, I was so like wait on that email. But I'm glad I made it. I'm glad I made it, and that I can be a hopefully an inspiration to somebody else that they can make it as well.
We love it. We love it. We're here on the Doc Check, folks. Got my great friend, Dr. Boynton, got Dr. Wright, got Dr. Reese, and I'm telling you, they got to share this, and I got to go to Dr. V on this one. Tell me about this moment. It just recently happened. Is that correct? Just recently happened. Is that right?
It is. I defended October last year, but I haven't walked for any of my degrees. So this was the first walk, and I had my husband, my son, my daughter. We were all there in those shirts that they survived. I don't know what was so hard for them. I mean, it's not like I was unpleasant or grouchy or demanding or busy or totally consumed with myself and my work. But it was really special. And I thought about watching, being 16 or so years old and watching my grandmother in her 40s get her bachelor's degree so that she could go and teach inner city kids. And I thought about my mom who went back to school, when she was not young. And I know she's listening, so I don't want to call out her age, but I know she wouldn't mind as well. And then I thought about my children being there watching me.
Yes.
I thought about,
indeed.
Yeah, my son's girlfriend who, he didn't survive. Come on, Justin, that's my son, who just enrolled in National University. And I had a different experience because National University graduates upwards of 60 to 80% BIPOC. So I was surrounded by Black, Indigenous people of color excellence. I saw Black women doctors fixing Black women doctors, hats and cords and gowns. And, what it was like I made it. And it was like I could say, I'm a felon and I'm a former stripper. And I'm also brilliant at what I know, and overeducated and overqualified and overexperienced to take on this life.
Wow. And that is beautiful. I know your family is definitely so very proud. And we're definitely proud of you as well, because I'm telling you, it's just a beautiful sight to see. And it's something special when the days are sunny when you graduate. I know that doesn't happen for everybody, but oh man, it just makes the graduation day so incredible.
Baking in the sun. It had been cloudy the whole time I was in San Diego. And the day I put on black velvet, they were like, come on, son.
It is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. We're going to go to Dr. Reese here, because I'm telling you, what was it like finally putting that robe and that tam on for graduation?
When I tell you, I tried that thing on every day and walked around the house. Okay, I said, just in case, I want to make sure it fit right. Okay, I want to make sure my pants is long enough. But putting that on, first off, it's heavy. Okay, and it's hot. Okay, I graduated from University of Southern Mississippi, Southern Miss to the top. Shout out to Golden Eagles. But it was already beyond hell outside. Okay, and so putting that robe on, I was like, now wait, is this what hell felt like? I don't want to do it. But putting it on for me was just a culmination. Like I was like, oh my God, like the post said, I felt like Lauryn Hill. There are so much things to say. I know it's not good English, right? But there are so much things to say. What I was feeling in that moment, watching the joy on my mama's face, my sister's face, one of my really good college friends who came to support me. I mean, I could have shed tears of joy, right? This is a moment that not everybody will get a chance to experience, that I was able to surpass everything I was going through, the grief and the frustration, the anger, the imposter syndrome, to get to this point where now I can serve as a mentor to somebody else, right? One of my former bosses, my college president, said that, as practitioners, we are in the business of taking students from where they are to where they need to be. And I said, I hope that this picture inspires somebody, right? That you can do whatever you set out to do, right? And so putting on that robe, it felt like, I said, well, I'm glad it worked out, okay? And I'm glad that I'm done, okay? And I said, I'm wearing this to church, I'm wearing it to the swimming pool, I'm wearing it everywhere, okay? Because I worked hard for this thing. But it felt amazing to put it on I was taking my pictures and shedding tears, like, y'all, this is amazing. Like I made it, and I know Dr. V and Dr. Wright can say, there were some nights where you're just like, I can't do this, man. Like, I mean, you were up, I'm working full time. I'm helping the kids going to programs, and I got to go home and do homework for 4 to 6 hours a night. Them 1 o'clock nights and 5 o'clock risings. I felt like Marsha Ambrosius some nights, late night to early mornings, right? But at that moment, when I put it on at graduation, I knew that it was well worth it, and all of my sacrifices had now paid off.
Love it. We absolutely love it. And I ain't gonna lie. Look, man, I didn't even know what to pull up because you weren't playing. I mean, videos and all the stuff. I mean, I was like, I'm just gonna pull up her page and we'll see what pops up. We'll just see. So you did your thing. Let me see if I can. I don't know if this is gonna play, but we just want to hit something.
This is a good one too. So you see me right there. I have the yellow. I have the Prada sneakers. Yeah, it's a whole experience. Oh, the audio won't work, but this is Black Grad. This was night one of wearing everything officially to an event. So I while I didn't tell anybody for 4 years, I knew that when I was going to tell people in social media, it was going to be a full rollout. And so I announced it And I took the picture with all my USC gear. I didn't say I was a doctoral student, and I didn't say I was class of 2024. I just said I'm going to USC. So I really rolled out everything. That's why Dr. Turner's saying there's so much stuff. I was posting consistently. I'm still posting consistently. I still have so much more to post. You see that I was in the front row for Black Grad.
You weren't playing. That's right. You was up in the front.
I was the first person. I was in the front row. Yes, sir. And Black Grad was amazing. I've attended several Black Grads as a graduate. This one was very, very, very special for me. My children walked the stage with me. So I have a son, he's 12. I have a daughter, she's 6. They were on each side of me, and we walked. You see my son is right there. We walked across the stage, and it was the best experience ever. They did not know that it was going to happen, and they were very nervous because they had no preparation, but it was such a beautiful experience. I wanted to have professional photos taken and ready to go. So I took photos on March 1st, and that was my first time. That's the stock photos you see there. That was the first time I tried on my regalia, and it was the best experience ever. So if you're following my page, you can watch the video of me unboxing my regalia. It's a little bit further down in the content. Yeah, so it's
got the videos for days. I'm telling you, got the video, but I love it.
Right, this next one coming up, those 2 videos are my unboxing of my regalia. So you get my initial emotions, my initial reaction to it. It was surreal. And then when I put it on for photos, this was in February.
Probably my favorite outfit to see what it is.
So yeah, I mean, this is super corny, but
I am so excited. Use the struggle.
It's great when you're on video and you're trying to do stuff and like nothing works out right.
I'm like, open, that's me.
So this was literally your very first time opening it.
I had not seen it.
If you know me, you know I'm very dramatic, very emotional, and I cannot right now. Like, this is like beyond. All right.
I have all the pieces here.
It's literally perfectly put together.
Yeah. It's so heavy.
Oh my God.
So heavy.
So
Dr. V said when you put it
I am graduating with my doctorate in social work. I am getting my DSW. I am class of 2024, and this is my regalia. I am so excited right now.
So it was a lot of fun. A lot of people under the regalia, they wear like, you know, really cute outfits. This is the photo. This is my official announcement. So I put everything up. That's all I said. I just said, oh, I'm proud to be a Trojan.
You buy out the bookstore? Like, this is incredible.
Essentially. I mean, I never told anybody, but it doesn't mean I didn't rep my stuff. I had everything. Wow. I have a lot of photos over the 4 years. But, you know, this was, you know, like Dr. V said, this was my 4th college graduation. You know, I kind of knew, yes, thank you. So I kind of knew what to expect. So I didn't have to have those angst of, oh my God, it's graduation. So under my regalia, I was wearing like a tank top and biker shorts every day, or like a tank top and like workout shorts every day. Because I didn't need to have the fancy thing. My regalia was fancy enough. And I had some nice sneakers on every day, you know, and so as you can see, I put myself together really well for each day. I had 3 days I got to wear my regalia, which was really nice. A lot of people only wear it on the day of graduation. But like I said, I participated in Black Grad. I was the president of the Honor Society, Phi Alpha Honor Society. So we had our induction ceremony, and then I was awarded the Order of Art from USC, which is a high distinction for a student award for leadership. So I got to wear my regalia a lot, but like Dr. Reese said, I mean, I was like, if you see me in the club with this on, it is what it is, because this is a whole outfit. And I'm so excited, Dr. Turner, that we decided to wear our TAMs for our event on Juneteenth, because I get to wear my tam again. And it's just like, you know, it's a fun thing. I'm a proud Trojan. And it's just, you know, it's something that I am really, really happy about. And this is why I did those stock photos, because look how good that stock photo looks on your flyer that you did for us.
Went in good. And folks don't know, we are letting y'all know we getting together in the DMV, Washington, D.C. at the Rose Bar for a Juneteenth celebration. We talking about bringing the Tams. I got mine right here. I got mine. I'm telling you, bring them because it's going to be a movie. We are taking pictures. We want to walk in that mug and folks will be like, who are they? I got to know who they are. And we all are doctors and we come together. So I'm telling y'all, do not miss it. Anything my co-host got to say, what do you got to say about it?
I'm really excited about this. The fact that so I'm in California. I'm a West Coast girl. West Side's the best side. I'll leave it there. But I'm really excited because I love DC. I love the DMV area. I have not been there for so long. I'm so excited to go back. And the fact that I get to be in DC on Juneteenth is next level. The fact that I get to co-host an event with Dr. Turner, next level. The fact that this is a Black doctor, Black excellence experience, it's just like, I cannot wait. How many more days do I have to wait? And so I'm really excited. I really hope that everyone in the area comes out and sees us. We are going to be wearing our TAMs. We're going to take a group photo with all of us together. So please come on time. You can get a free ticket and go to Eventbrite to grab that. And we'll be there. We're going to celebrate the movie and let us know if you're coming so we can let you know about all the other things going on too.
For sure. And I'm telling you, it is going to be a movie, as she said. So we wanted to make sure we show love. We got Dr. V here. We got Dr. Reese. We got Dr. Wright. Look at this. Look at this. The love from Mama. The love. And we absolutely love this. This is what it's about right here, folks. And I'm telling you, we appreciate that love so very much. This is some amazing stuff. And I'm telling you, any words, Dr. V, any words?
I'm so glad I didn't say her age because then she writes this nice stuff. No, my mom is incredible. She's an incredible editor, and her support in editing the monotony of my dissertation.
Wow.
Next level. Yeah, in-house editor. Without the fee.
Shoot, I paid $700 for mine. Shoot, where was Mama at when I did?
Don't tell her. Don't tell her. No. No, she's great. And she's also working to help me edit my book, which is about 2 weeks away from completion. So I'm really excited to have her around, you know, and have her support. It's a wonderful thing.
We love that. Now, in the last segment, we brought up the topic because I'm not going to lie, I'm sick and tired of folks who don't know anything, and let's be honest, they're just not doctors, talking about stuff, and I got doctors on who going to talk about it. So we're going to start with Dr. V. As we see Diddy putting his hands on Cassie, CNN wanted to drop it. Mm-hmm. You, as a woman, you as a doctor, as a professional, I'm going to give you the floor. I need 2 to 4 minutes of all your thoughts on this Diddy situation and why we as a people need to take this seriously and what we can do about it.
I mean, well, when he goes to prison, I'm going to be like, take that. Let's start there.
Let's start there.
And I'll be dancing in the back video too.
Yeah, gotta get out
I think it's disgusting that this was hidden. Wendy Williams talked about it years ago. I think that it's disgusting that there are arguments that go on and say, well, we didn't know if she was telling the truth or not. I will talk about the women who are not telling the truth when we protect the ones that are. And until then, I have no comment on that. I will also say that there is something about people that victimize the vulnerable that makes them the most disgusting type of people. And I don't care if you're sorry. I don't need your apology. I for gosh darn sure don't need it. She might want it, but I don't need it. What I need for you to do is to sit down and pay the piper. What I need for you to do is divest of your wealth into programs that will address misogynistic, terrible, disgusting people like you. And Dr. Wright probably has even more insights from an equity point of view. There are so many systems in place that are designed to make women silent, obedient, proper, marginalized, sidelined. And when it comes to Black women, I'm not sure who decided that we were supposed to save the world. I don't know who it was, but they were wrong. And when it comes to Black men, I don't know who decided to characterize them as aggressive, assertive, violent, but I want to be very clear and say aggressive Black men are the outliers. They are not the norm. They are not the standard. And when Black men, the few fringe, participate in this type of behavior, you make it the standard and the norm. And you give fodder and weapons to people that don't need more of an arsenal. I will also say that mental health is an issue.
Yeah.
And when you see these behaviors push out, whether it's through drug use, whether it's through mental breaks, whether it's through violence and aggression, again, I say it's the exception, and I don't care what stat you give me, I'm telling that story. We need to talk about the systems we have in place that make it okay to go and seek help.
Yeah, that's good.
And the systems that aren't in place for women who are abused to speak up. There's no reason you should have to take 3, 4, and 5 people with you to say we were all abused before something's done. But that's the current state. So I think it's time that we stop buying Mother's Day cards and start protecting mothers. I think it's time we stop admiring the beauty of a female form and invest in protecting that form. And I think that it's time that we collectively say, when women say it, we're going to start with believing them, and we'll repair any damage on the back end. And we'll just call that restitution. We'll just call it even and go from there. So that's what I would add. Just a couple thoughts.
Hey, we appreciate that. We appreciate that. Coming from Dr. V. Boykin, folks. Dr. Reese, I want to give it to you, my guy. Black man, your thoughts. What did you think when you saw the video? What solutions do you have? Because it's horrible. It's absolutely horrible.
I thought the video was disgusting. I have to follow Dr. V, and the fact that I'll be trying to figure out how to say stuff, right? Because you don't want to offend people. And everybody,
Doc Chat. We say what we say. We got doctorate degrees up here. We talking.
But the fact that you use your wealth and you used your power to basically bury this woman, okay? She pretty much fell out of the whole social limelight. You took all of her support systems away because, she's lying. I'm Diddy. Why would I do that? Why would you not do that? You're in an industry that is disgusting. The industry is polluted and it's toxic with people who have the same mindset. And the only reason they ain't saying that because they ain't been caught yet. Okay, they feel like, well, let me be quiet for the open door on my skeletons. Okay, but for him to use his power and I know more people are going to come along and say stuff, but for you to continue to do this, you have to know that your time is coming, and when it does, you can save that apology you had for Oprah, okay, because you wrote that on your Instagram notes, okay. It wasn't sincere, it wasn't genuine. You did that to save face for yourself and your brand partnerships that you have. They told you, hey Diddy, get on here and talk about how sorry you are. Get on here and talk about how I need to get some help. Yes, you do need to get some help, okay. I agree. Hey, divest that wealth into things that are going to help us move forward as a people.
Yeah.
Okay. But for you to use your power and wealth to basically bury that footage it's disgusting, right? And I hate that it takes you and 19 other women for them to actually believe you. Believe Black women the first time. Believe women, period. Believe Black women the first time. Okay. I shouldn't have to go and bring 18 of my sisters for them to say, oh, he did this to me too. And then for you not to be believed because this person has a certain, status or a wealth, they wouldn't do that. Why wouldn't they? If you have the power to make things disappear like that, what else have you made disappear? I don't know if y'all follow now. Everybody got a different opinion about her, but I don't know if y'all follow Jaguar Wright and you listen to Jaguar Wright over the last 2 to 3 years. Go back and watch some of her YouTube videos. It is very telling, and he's not the only one. But I think that we have to believe women the first time. And I hate that women are suffering in silence because now people, especially I'm sad for Black men who got on immediately and said, "Oh, what did she do to deserve this? Why was she trying to run? What was she getting away? Are you super? Are you stupid?" Yeah. And these are Black men with platforms, and now they want to come back and apologize. Well, I hadn't seen the footage. You shouldn't have said it regardless.
That's right.
The fact that you said it. No, I'm cool on you too. Okay. What the commenter say? Can't stop, won't stop. Well, I'm gonna stop supporting you today. Okay. I think about how many more closet doors are gonna swing open in this year of exposure for people that we place on these high platforms who are gonna start crumbling down. Okay, because of what they've done. But please believe women first. I mean, it shouldn't take you and 18 people for you to believe them. Okay. And then you wonder why people don't want to come forward. Well, why didn't you say this 13 years ago? Do you know what mindset I was in 13 years ago? You know, transparently, my aunt was a victim of domestic violence, right? Husband abused her, right? Well, why did she leave? Oh, the kids, you know, I want to make sure. So you can't say, why did you tell them about it? They didn't feel comfortable. As a person, as Black men, do you make it comfortable for Black women to come talk to you about it?
Man,
you should have said something. You should have saw the signs. I was struggling and sinking and depressed. You should have saw that and said, "Hey, I see Dr. V is not right. Dr. Wright, something ain't right with Dr. Wright. Like she's not her usual. You know, I need to get the signs." So that's my thoughts. I think it's disgusting, and I will be there. I'll be there waiting, okay? Because he's not the only one that's going to face the music this year, okay? I hope he has lots of Ciroc left over, okay? Okay, because he's going to be, you're going to need it. Take a few shots.
Dr. Kevin Reese giving his thoughts. Now we have to throw it to Dr. Wright. I mean, the floor is yours. You know what I'm saying? You clean up hitter in this one, so I got to know what your thoughts are.
Well, I would agree with Dr. Reese. Cat Williams said a few people's names, and then he pulled a few people's numbers. So Diddy was one of them. But in all seriousness, as a product of domestic violence, as a survivor of domestic violence, the video of Cassie was me. And so I watched it numb, and I watched it with little feeling because I've experienced it far too much. And so for me, people are posting like, oh, people, shout out to the people that see themselves in this video. And I was like, yes, there's a lot of people that are seeing themselves in this video. I've been struggling with the idea of speaking or commenting on this incident because my energies, this time is really for other things and not for such heinous negativity. But I do appreciate the time to speak on it right now on your platform, Dr. Turner. So
that's up to you. If you don't feel comfortable, just let us know. So
I'm speaking on it. People are saying like, why didn't she say something earlier? And when it first came out, I was like, what's going on? I'm like, I haven't heard from Cassie in like over a decade. Like, what is happening? But the thing is as it continues to roll out, this is not a case of why didn't she tell somebody? Everybody knew. I've been watching the news because I don't know why I have a lot more time on my hands right now. Get to watch the news again. And like her hairdresser, their stylist, there's people that were there that helped her. Like this one woman was like, oh yeah, she stayed at my house for a week because nobody could see her. We called an in-house doctor to come take care of her. And all of this. So it's not that she didn't tell anybody. Everybody around them knew that something was going on. People saw her banged up. People saw her and called a doctor to the house to take care of her. So when she knew that everybody in her camp knew what was going on and nobody was going the extra mile to report it or to remove her or to help her to escape, why would she tell the public and strangers who could do nothing for her? When the people who had all the power weren't doing anything but keeping her safe for a week from him. And so I just want to change the narrative as to why she didn't talk, because she did. And she didn't have to say anything more because nobody was going to do anything for her until her lawyers more recently got involved and helped her. I really want to speak to the social media content that people are posting about. If that was me, if a guy did that to me, he would whoop, whoop, whoop. I do not like that content, and I need people to stop posting it. It's making me sick. If you've never been a victim of domestic violence, if you have never had a man throw you across the room, kick you, punch you, hit you, victimize you, then you do not know what you're going to do in that moment. And it is not possible for a female to physically respond to a male when they are enraged. In fact, that is the least thing that you should, that's very not smart. It's sorry that I'm with you, Dr. Reese. It's not good English. It's very not smart. Okay? It's very not smart to respond to an angry man when he is trying to physically show you his aggression, his strength, and his ability to control you physically. The last thing you want to do is respond with aggression. You receive, you take, and you try to keep yourself safe and protected from it going further than it needs to. So seeing the content of people posting, you know, if Diddy did that to me, if I saw that, if Diddy did that to my sister, no, none of you, because these things have happened to those people. And if you're a female and you're posting, if this happened to me, I would fight back, you're lying. As a victim of multiple experiences, multiple times, and a product of it from utero, you are not fighting back. So please stop putting out that narrative that she should have fought back. How the hell is she going to fight back when she is less than half his size on the floor fighting for her life?
And she's in shock. She's just flat out in shock. Yeah. Oh,
That's
it. Hey, I appreciate you. I appreciate your openness. I appreciate all of you for coming with solutions. That's what we want to do on the Doc Chat Show. We don't just want to talk like all these other podcasts and bloggers and influencers. You ain't influencing nothing. These are doctors with doctorate degrees who can come with the research and the real talk on what we can do to help our society. That's what we got the doctorate degrees for. This wasn't for us. This was for y'all. People don't get it. And we want to make sure we're giving back to our community. So thank y'all so much for speaking on that amazing topic. Now, last question before we wrap up. I want to make sure that you all let us know where folks can find you. And if somebody is watching right now, they're working on that doctorate degree, 2-3 minutes, what would you tell them? Flat out, if they heard your words today and that was the inspiration that got them to the finish line or even got them to go for a doctorate degree, what would you tell them? Start with Dr. V. Appreciate you for being on the show. Let folks know where they can find you. And what would you tell those prospective doctors?
Well, you can find me at drvboykin.com. You can find me on LinkedIn. You can find me in bookstores soon. And what I would tell them is that the time is going to pass anyways, and hard things are going to come anyways. It's really a question of what you want at the end of the time. You can either be going through something difficult and having recovered from it, period, or you can be going through something difficult, having recovered from it with a doctorate. Like that's kind of the choice. There it is. It's not going to get easier. It's going to get different. It's not going to get easier. It's just going to get different. And one thing my daughter told me, and I tell as many people as I can, I was going through a divorce. They're never fun. This one was really painful. Being told you're too Black and too liberal after 10 years is tough, because I've always been the same. And she said, you know, Mom, I know it's a tough time right now, and that's because it's the middle. And this is what the middle feels like. You can't see the beginning and you can't see the end. It's the middle. You're exactly where you're supposed to be, and you're feeling exactly what you're supposed to feel. So go ahead and feel it's hard. Go ahead and say it's hard. Go ahead and know it's hard, and then do it anyway, because it's not getting easier. It's just getting different.
Love it. That is Dr. Boykin, folks. Coming with the fire, always coming with it. Be sure you check out her YouTube videos too now. She got some fire YouTube videos. And I'm telling you, you got to put those on LinkedIn though, because you put the link on YouTube. I'm like, man, she need to drop this on LinkedIn so folks can see her now. So
I'm taking applications for a social media manager that's not paid, is volunteer. But I'll help you with your dissertation. Not chapter 4, but the rest of it.
We love it. We love it. Dr. Reese, where can folks find you? And if you can give some encouraging, inspiring words to that next doctor, what would you tell them? And we appreciate you being on the show, Dr. Reese.
I would tell people, don't give up. I know that you don't understand what I know it doesn't feel good. I know it doesn't look good, but I need you to stay in the race. Okay, you cannot make a difference if you drop out of the race. I liken it to being in a roller coaster queue. Okay, you're waiting to get to that moment. Okay, somebody is watching you, waiting on you to tell your story of how you enjoyed the roller coaster, how you made it through. But if you get out the queue, think about that person who's now saying, well, I don't have anybody to look up to. Okay. You are somebody's help. You're somebody's why. Don't give up. Don't throw in the towel. You're going to be done before you realize it. I remember I was counting down 289 days away from graduation. Okay. And I got to graduate. Not that I was counting, right? But I was like, and here I am sitting in the front row, getting ready to walk for them to call my name. I made it. You know, John P. Key has a song called I Made It Out All Right. You're going to make it out all right, okay? I know it don't look good, don't feel good, but baby, you're going to make it. And when you do, we're going to be here to call you doctor. There's a frat brother of mine, and he has a new line of merch coming out very soon. I'll share it when it comes out. And when you graduate, I'm going to get you a shirt. You'll love the shirt. But you can find me, okay? I'm on Instagram at The Entertainer, all one word. TheEentertainer, all one word. I'm on YouTube. I'm the line dancing doc, okay? I'm the founder of Soul to Soul line dancing, dancing from your soul all the way down to your soul. I teach 5 to 85, rhythm, no rhythm. And I'm also the founder of the Wednesday Experience podcast. The Wednesday Experience podcast takes listeners on a journey of life, laughter, wisdom, and everything in between. My guests come from a little bit of everywhere, okay? The cashier down to Popeyes, the lady in the ice cream aisle at Walmart, my frat brothers, my friends, my sorors, my old bosses, a little bit of everybody, because you never know where your next piece of wisdom or encouragement will come from, right? So don't ever, we're on Spotify and Google and Apple Podcasts and Stitcher, so look us up on there. And I'm going to leave you with this. Don't forget to govern yourselves accordingly. Drink lots of water, mind your business, pay attention, stay in your own lane, be grateful for absolutely everything. Don't forget to smile as much as you can. Even if you don't have all your teeth, still smile, because somebody's looking forward to it. And whatever you do, don't forget to put on lotion, because you cannot be ashy and be successful. All right? Thank you so much, Dr. Turner, for having me tonight.
As Dr. Kevin Reese, that's how you go out as a doctor. And we absolutely love and we appreciate you. And we got to put it up one more time so folks can see us. I got to make sure I go ahead and zoom in a little clip. There we go. Dr. Wright. Dr. Wright. We going to be at the Rose Bar. Make sure y'all come and check us out. Dr. Wright said, JT, I looked online and I seen it. Oh, this is not. I said, man, we're doctors. We do the biggest. We do it the best. And this ain't going to be no low-key shindig. Oh, no, it's going to be a movie. And I'm telling you, I appreciate Dr. Wright for saying she's going to come out. She's going to co-host us with it. Just going to have a good time. We're going to celebrate us as doctors, because I'm just finding out a lot of time. Look, they'll have graduation parties for when you get your bachelor's. But the one you have when you get your doctorate, this is what this is going to be for. Everybody got a doctorate. Come on out, celebrate with us. We appreciate it.
Oh, yeah.
Dr. Wright, I'm telling you, go right ahead. Let folks know where they can find you. And what would you tell that prospective doctor?
So for the prospective doctor, a doctor is not cheap, and not cheap in the sense of financially, emotionally, mentally. It's just taxing. It's even taxing on your space, because you're going to have to buy a lot of books and print out a lot of articles to read. You're going to get a lot of sticky notes and a lot of highlighters. So it is an expensive journey and experience. So when you go to get your doctorate, don't get one because someone else got it. Don't do what they did over there. Do your research, pick the program that makes sense for you, and then understand your purpose and why as to what you're going for. If you're simply going so people can call you Dr. Wright, you're not ready, because you're going to not be able to finish. You have to have purpose, reason, why and motive. If you don't, you will be like many, many unfortunate people that I saw not finish. And these were very successful people in their communities, prominent people running churches, organizations, nonprofits, very successful people not being able to complete the program because their why and their reason was not stronger than the bumps, burdens, and hills that they had to climb over to complete it. There's lots of opportunities for your doctorate degree. Pick the one that makes sense for you. Think about how it's going to help progress you in your professional journey, and then apply to that program. That's my advice. That's the advice that I give my grad students and anyone else that's like, oh, you just did it, I'm going to do it now. And I'm like, weird. That's not what this is about. Like my journey, my life. Like I posted something recently, like, you know, my optometrist gave me my prescription for my glasses. If I take my glasses off and give them to you, you will not have the same vision that I have. This is my vision for me. You have to slow down and find your vision for you. And so that's my advice for anyone that's listening that's not already a doctor. As far as where you can find me, Maria Wright Consulting on Instagram, Maria Wright on LinkedIn. It's Maria, how it's spelled on the screen. Don't try to make it different. It's the Black version. I am Black. I've been to Mexico once. That's as far as I'll take that. Yeah, please find me. Please connect with me. I'm very active on those platforms. I just published my book. It is available on Amazon. Right now we're doing an exciting thing. It's 99 cents for the ebook. Within less than 24 hours, I went #1 in 4 categories, bestseller and best new release. That is wild. Wasn't expecting that at all. So please support. The paperback will be available in a few weeks. It's I'm doing a slow rollout on each item. I really want to experience it. When I started writing my book last year, a little over a year ago now, about a year and a half, I was like, I told them, I was like, I really want to walk the stage and have my book at the same time. And it sounded like a great idea. Don't recommend it. Do not do it. It's insanity. It's insanity. I'm not joking. I really, really, really should have ended up somewhere where you can't leave for 72 hours. It was awful. My dissertation and my book manuscript were due in the same week. It's not okay. Don't do it. I'm not here to be an inspiration. I'm here to be like, oh, okay, that's really cool. She did that. What can I learn from it? And so that's exciting. Buy my book. Follow me on social media. I dropped my link tree. And yeah, I mean, I'm looking to connect, but I'm also just excited for people to have their own vision, path, and journey. And like my fellow doctor said, don't get stuck on the path or the journey. Because then, yeah, you'll end up in the dark hole because you didn't keep going to find the light. Keep going.
Love it.
See you on Juneteenth in DC.
We love it. Dr. Maria Wright, folks. Well, that is it, folks. We're on hiatus now because, hey, I know y'all love the summer. Y'all want to enjoy the summer. So y'all enjoy the summer. We're still going to have our meetups. We're still going to make sure that folks get the information they need through the doc chat. If y'all don't know, y'all better know because we got folks getting jobs. We got folks doing public speaking. We got folks connecting. Hey, we even got my guy, Dr. Whitty. Folks are going on his podcast and doing great work. So, hey, go ahead and get on these train with these doctors because I'm telling you, they going places and doc chat going with them and we're going far. So I just want to thank y'all for a wonderful 3rd season. We're going to pick it back up. When it's time to pick it back up, I don't know, but I'm telling you, these doctors be ready to talk. And this is the platform where they talk because I let the doctors do it. This is the Doc Chat. And I'm just so thankful for all of y'all so very much.
Thank you.
Until next time. Oh, yeah, go ahead. What was that?
I want to say thank you for having my girl. I just want to be grateful for absolutely everything.
I was waiting for my moment to speak. I said,
thank you.
I don't want to cut him off, but I'm like, hey, my granny said be grateful for every opportunity. So I want to say thank you, right? Because you out here docking the doc stuff. So thank you. Okay.
That's right. 2-hour marathon.
Oh, okay, listen.
Thank you for
2
the
hours.
opportunity.
And kept it interesting. You know, people can't talk for 2 minutes without being boring. So
True
this
story.
has been great. So thank you for the opportunity. I appreciate it.
I was a listener for the first hour, and now I'm here, and it's just I'm excited.
He was too. He was too. I appreciate it. Hey, we appreciate you tuning in. You've been here all 2 hours. We appreciate you, Chi. We appreciate you. And I thank God for all of y'all. Every doctor that's been on here, I'm telling you, We about 60 episodes in this thing. It's just been a blessing. It's a blessing to be able to give back, because I'm telling you, this is the voice of the doctors. This is what we do on the Doc Chat. Until next time, folks, we say God bless and we say peace out.